We're back. 5230 podcast, episode, I think, 4 of the redraft segment. This is the 2011 NBA redraft. I'm here. I'm Swag, and my co-host, or like the host.
We can say co-host. I'm the man from Jersey.
All right,
How's
there we
everybody
go.
doing? Back from
He's here.
vacation. Back from vacation, I might add. Aloha.
Nobody even noticed.
Nobody even noticed, man, because we haven't done an episode we haven't recorded an episode in like 2 weeks. We've been uploading because we had a
Yeah.
couple episodes in the clip.
Yeah, I
But
I failed in my bet. I one of the teams didn't win, so I failed in the bet, but we're coming back this weekend with another bet. Let's see if we could get that streak started again.
before we even get started, man, if you've watched this far into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man, because we got more redrafts coming. The NBA season is going to start in less than a month, so we're going to have all
No,
types of content
not
coming with
even.
that.
12 days.
12 days, man. So we're going to have stuff with that. We're going to do fun stuff like these redrafts, and we got a couple of other little ideas we're not going to let out the bag yet. But like, comment, and subscribe, man, so you don't miss anything. But today, yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
2011 redraft. Yo, this draft was a deep one, man. A lot of good talent, a lot of all-stars came out of here. A lot of not even just like all-stars, man, a lot of great role players too as you go through this one. And the reason why we're doing 2011 is because we kind of started with the best drafts, honestly. Like we did 03, we did 96, we did
Yeah.
84. And then this one's like up there with them, man. I don't know if it's better than them, but it's like it's pretty close, man. It's right there. It's like Steph Curry's the best shooter, but then there's Klay Thompson. This is like Klay Thompson is 2011, and then Steph Curry's like 96, I guess, or like 03.
Yeah, and then we definitely have the there's like sentimental, I guess, stuff about this because first off, like, well, a little point that I want to make. This draft was done in the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey.
And fun fact, this is according to Wikipedia. Got to give them their credit. This is the last NBA draft that the New Jersey Nets participated in. So just a little more sentimental stuff there. Unfortunately, the Nets didn't have a pick because they traded it for Darren Williams like 4 months
Ah.
before this draft. But nevertheless, I think they had like a late first rounder, like second rounder or something.
I
Regardless,
thought
they were
Ennis, I thought Ennis Cantor came from Jersey.
that was the pick. Like that was what New Jersey traded to Utah for Darren Williams. Like New Jersey didn't even make that pick. Like that was just Utah picking Ennis Canner.
Yeah, so we could have had the number 3 overall pick
Yeah, but
in a stacked draft.
we got to watch like four years of Darren Williams kind of seeming like he half cared, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, yo, you want to do the first pick or I do the first pick? It doesn't matter. I'm with whatever.
I feel like you've done the first pick every time. So I feel like you should just keep it going, no?
Yeah. All right, cool, man. So I'm number one. Let's just get straight into it, man. I'm taking, well, Cleveland's picking number one. This is this
Yeah.
is post LeBron Cleveland, this is one of their three first round picks after LeBron left them the first time. So Cleveland picked number one. They took Kyrie Irving in real life,
Yeah.
but in this redraft, I'm not taking Kyrie Irving. I'm taking the claw Kawhi Leonard number one. And this is my reason, man. So let's give a little background, man. The season before this one, the 2010-2011 Cavs were 25th in points per game, 95 and a half per game. They were 30th in opponents' points per game. No, excuse me, my bad. 23rd, my bad. They gave up 104.5 points a game. So that's a 9 point difference right there. And much like I said in 03 when Cleveland picked number one and took LeBron, this Cavs team, they honestly just needed talent everywhere. Their team was like Mo Williams, Antoine Jameson, Anthony Parker, Andy Varejao. Just they weren't that good. They just needed talent anywhere. In my opinion, Kawhi is the best player in this draft. Incredible two-way player. And to me, he's just a no-brainer number one pick for Cleveland. Uh, it would have helped him out in real life, putting some more points on the board and defensively as well. So, yeah, man. I mean, I can get into some career accolades and stuff, but if you want to interject, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. I think the thing with Kawhi is he does have like a little injury, but that's like after the fact. Like he did so much and then he started getting injured, And then
Yeah,
that game that we saw at my house, that Sixers game, in the playoffs, Raptors versus Sixers, where Kawhi pretty much like took over and hit that clutch shot at the end to win the game and send the Sixers home. And then we know that Toronto went against Golden State and ended up winning the championship. So they could have
yeah. So
easily they
that
could have
that
easily not made the finals.
that was the number one main reason why I took Kawhi, because there's other candidates. Obviously, like you can make an argument for Kyrie, you can make an argument for Jimmy Butler, even Klay Thompson. You can make an argument for him. But the reason I took Kawhi for sure, no doubt about it, number one, is because of what you just said. That freaking playoff run he had in 2019 for the Raptors, like he just put the team on his back. He was the clear-cut best player on that championship team. Like the earlier, well, actually, I was gonna say like championships, but he really only had one earlier in San Antonio. But you could say like, oh, but there was Tim Duncan there, it was Tony Parker, it was Ginobili, it was Popovich, it was the Spurs, right? Okay, cool, I understand that. But when he went to the Raptors and won that one, he was the clear number one guy. In that game against the Sixers, like, bruh, just the Raptors don't make the finals if Kawhi's not insane like he was in that game. And even in the NBA finals, he was insane. So, like, the dude gets traded there, spends 1 year there. Raptors roll the dice, and the dude delivers with a championship. You could say everything you want to say about Durant being hurt, Klay Thompson. It is what it is, man. Like, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant could have been hurt, and the Raptors could have like still lost for all you know. But like they delivered at the end of the day. Only championship in Canadian basketball history. And yeah, man, Kawhi. So I don't want it to get lost in the sauce, man. I just want to say some accolades just to really drive home the point. The dude's a two-time NBA champion, one with the Spurs in 2014, one with the Raptors in 2019, two-time Finals MVP, which is that's another one right there. Like you're the best. You're winning the Finals MVP, dude. Like both years. And the first one, this dude was only in the league for 3 years. Like he was 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14. That third year is when they win that championship where they annihilate the Heat, the Heatles, and Kawhi wins it at like 23 or something. Like insane. Five-time NBA All-Star, made three All-NBA first teams, two All-NBA second teams, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, which I kind of forgot about. He won it in 2015 and 2016, which is just drives home the point of what I said with him being one of, if not the best two-way player in the NBA. And yeah, there's more accolades, but I don't want to just keep rattling off everything. Just he's had an insane career. His career averages aren't as flashy as you would want them to be. Like it's 19.2 points a game so far, 6.4 rebounds, 2.9 assists. But you got to take into consideration that his first 4 years on the Spurs, that's basically why. Like his rookie year, he averaged like 7.5 points a game. And the Spurs brought him on slowly because of what I said. They had all those guys, Parker, Ginobili. There's a lot of talent there. So Kawhi's not, he's not the focal point of the offense. So it's pretty much those first 4 years why his career averages aren't like 23, 24, 25. But the last couple seasons, like as the number one option, like he's definitely been putting up those 20 plus point seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So definitely number one. So now
Yeah,
it's
for
my turn,
sure.
right?
Yeah, so number two, yeah, you're picking, man. Who you got? Wait, who picked here? Minnesota. So this is interesting, man.
Minnesota.
Number two is like that's an interesting one because I really thought there was like three dudes you can make a case for, but who you got?
I would go Clay Thompson.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, I picked Klay Thompson too, man.
Yeah, he's just all around like he's like basically like I would try to say he's basically like Kawhi. Like everybody touts him for his defense and he scores a lot. Like it's kind of hard to really say like, oh no, Kawhi is better than Clay. Like it's really they're both pretty much the same type of player. Like they score really well and they play good defense. And they're really big guys for their positions. Like Clay's like 6'7". I think Kawhi's like 6'8" or 6'7". Like they're both pretty much like the same. And it's like even if you look at the points, like Kawhi has 11,000 something points, and then Klay Thompson has almost 12,000. So it's almost the same amount of points. Kawhi does get more rebounds, like 36,000 to like 2,100. But then the shooting percentages are way better for Klay Thompson, like from three. He's like a dangerous guy from there. And then his defense is good too. Like, I don't know. Like you could give the edge to Kawhi a little bit just because he gets more rebounds, but then Klay hits more threes. So it's what do you want, you know?
Yeah, man. Clay's elite, bro. Um, I picked him number two also. When I was doing this draft, like I couldn't help myself. I looked online at other people's redrafts and what they were picking. Pretty much every other person's redraft of this one, 2011, that I saw, everyone picked Kyrie Irving number two. And I don't know if people are like when they do their redrafts that they're just solely picking like, oh, this guy's the number one best guy, this guy's the number two best guy, third best guy. With my picks, it was a little more than that. Like I didn't just pick, oh, he's the second best guy. So yeah, that's just like I had to just say that real quick. So 2010, 2011 Timberwolves. These guys, they were actually pretty good on offense. Like they put up 101 points a game. They were 10th out of 30 teams. But on the defensive end, bro, they let up 107.7 points a game. They were dead last in the NBA as far as like opponents' points per game, 30 of 30. So that was probably the biggest reason why I took Klay Thompson here because of what you said. 3-and-D guy, man. Like you're getting him, you're getting someone who, lights out from three, can score, has averaged 20 points per game on stacked Warrior teams. So you're thinking if he's maybe the first, second guy, probably next to Kevin Love at this time, you know, give him a year or two and he could be putting up 20 plus. And on defense, definitely will help him. So that's why I took Clay. And another quick disclaimer, like I low key, I wanted to take Jimmy Butler here because he's the other guy in this draft that's like insane two-way player. But the reason why I took Klay Thompson also ahead of Kyrie and Jimmy Butler is that this is 2011, right? This is 7 years after the Timberwolves made the playoffs, like for the last time before they made it in 2018. They were 7 years removed from the playoffs. KG was gone. This franchise was looking like an absolute SHIT show, fluffing the '09 draft, missing out on Steph Curry. They had a horrible GM. So this franchise just needed some like stability, dude, honestly. And to me, like you get that with Klay Thompson. This dude is super low maintenance. He's not a drama queen, good freaking locker room guy. And like to me, that goes a long way. People talk about franchises are built from the ground up. You just want good character people on your franchise. And I don't think there's anyone that has like a better character in the league than Klay Thompson. So all those things combined is why I took him ahead of like Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler, because those two guys have had, especially in the last couple of years, have had some pretty like dramatic pit stops in their careers, you know?
Yeah, and the whole thing about this draft is that it's still like to be determined, right? Because like, what happens if Kawhi wins the championship with the Clippers? Like, what happens if Clay comes back and he's not the same? Or if Kyrie wins a championship with the Nets this year? Like all these things, like you don't really know. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
still
these
not
guys
set in
aren't
stone.
retired, you know, they're all still playing, you know what I mean? They're not retired.
Yeah, yeah. So like definitely like a couple of these guys still have a chance of doing big things. So this could change in a few years, but you never know.
Yeah, and I just, I don't know if you like it, man, but I like to run through it, man. The career accolades for Klay Thompson, guy's a three-time NBA champion, five-time All-Star, two-time All NBA third team. This guy was on the 73 win Warriors and was arguably the second best player on them. Freaking has set shooting records, 14 threes in a game, has had insane just moments in his career. Game 6 versus Oklahoma City. Like that game was one of the most clutch games of all time. And even the last time we saw him in the 2019 finals against the Raptors, what was it? I think it was game 6, the one where he like tore his ACL. Dude was playing lights out, and that was Golden State with their back against the wall. And Klay Thompson is balling out. So this guy's got the cojones. He doesn't fold under pressure. You could definitely hold 2016 NBA Finals against them, but that was just a team thing. Like Steph Curry didn't even play good those last 3 games, and so yeah, man. But Klay Thompson, man, to me he was the right choice here, man. I'm freaking ecstatic that you picked him, dude. Because honestly, because also like I'm gonna tell you my pick. Like even when you pick, I'm gonna tell you like if I picked that same person or who I would have.
Yeah.
And I thought that this one you were gonna like clown me for it. I was like, yo, if I tell Swag that I picked Klay Thompson number 2, he's gonna be like, you're crazy, it's Kyrie or something. So I'm glad it didn't go that way.
No, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the whole thing with Kyrie is always the defense. So I go with the defense. Like the guy who's 3 and D, you definitely gotta go with that.
Perfect, man. So let's move on because that's a good transition because I thought the exact same way. Number 3 was Utah, and in real life they picked Ennis Cantor. But in this redraft, I'm taking Jimmy Buckets number 3 to Utah.
That's me too.
Um, yeah, I mean, if you look at the 2011 Jazz, the 2010, 2011 one, they were kind of mid-tier. They were like 14th in points per game, 19th in opponents' points per game. They weren't horrible in like either one, but you also don't want to be that team who's just stuck in the middle and like everything because like it's kind of like who wants to be an eighth seed for like 3 straight years who gets eliminated in the first round and then you're picking 15th, 15th, 14th. Like, yeah, but I mean, I like this one. Same thing as I said with Kawhi and Klay Thompson, and it's insane, bro. Like how many 3 and D guys or just two-way players like this draft has. Like literally the first 3 picks are like some of the best defenders in the NBA right now. And yeah, I'm taking Jimmy Butler because he helps you out offensively, helps you out defensively. And yeah, man, if you look at Utah's team around this time, they actually had some pretty good players on the team. Like they had Big Al Jefferson, they had Paul Millsap, they had I guess entering his sophomore year, Gordon Hayward. So in my opinion, like, yo, if you plug in Jimmy Butler there, and you got to remember Jimmy Butler early on in his career, like right now he plays small forward, I guess, but early on, if you always saw him, he was listed as a two guard. So, put him at the two guard, playing next to Al Jefferson, Paul Millsap, Gordon Hayward. That's looking like a pretty good team within the next couple of years.
Was Devin Harris still on there?
Yeah, Devin Harris is on there. Devin Harris,
Yeah.
which is
But then
like he fell off quickly after he left the Nets, bro. So yeah.
Yeah. So then to break it down, the first pick, Kawhi, he was drafted 15th.
Mm-hmm.
The second pick, Klay Thompson, was drafted 11th in real life. And Jimmy Butler was drafted 30th.
Last pick in the first draft.
So
In the first round, excuse me.
yeah, so that's the crazy part about this draft. It's pretty deep. Like even some of these players in the middle are like very good, solid players. But so yeah, you want to move on to the fourth?
Oh no, man. No, I have more stuff to say, man. I
Oh, okay.
with Jimmy Butler, why I feel like I take him if I'm Utah as well. And some of this stuff we're making some of these picks because we know how things have turned out, right? But that's exactly how it goes. So if you remember Jimmy Butler's career, he's on the Bulls, he goes to Minnesota, and when he's in Minnesota, he has all that drama with Carl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, I think it was. He's kind of like
Yeah.
calling them, he's basically telling them that they don't play with heart. And then he's there for 1 year, leads them to the playoffs, and then he bounces. He goes to Philly. And then even in Philly, he had some drama. Like he was kind of calling out some dudes. And he's in Miami right now, and he's fitting in pretty well with Miami. And I think he fits in well with Miami because they're a well-ran organization and they have a lot of hardworking players. And in my opinion, like we said this when we did the what was it, like the offseason recap of the Utah Jazz. Like they're just a well-ran franchise. Like you can't control that sometimes you're gonna suck because like you can't predict that Darren Williams is just going to become a prima donna and then you got to trade him and then you're kind of like starting over. But for the most part, they make pretty good moves. Like they're not like the Cavaliers just like picking Anthony Bennett, first overall. Like they're a pretty
Oh yeah.
competent. Yeah, they're a pretty competent franchise. So I feel like if you put in Jimmy Butler, a no nonsense guy in there, like I think he would do pretty well, man. So yeah, and then yeah, just career accolades, five-time All-Star, four times All NBA third team, which is pretty official. All defensive second team five times, and one NBA Most Improved Player of the Year in 2015. So he's a good guy, man. Good guy, man. And we have to mention it. He was probably the best player on those Miami Heat team, on the Miami Heat team that went to the NBA Finals in 2020. So yeah, man. I think number three is just right for him.
Yeah, and I was always a big fan of Jimmy Butler. I think if the fans ever want to go back to that episode about the MVP, I
Yeah, you were
I
calling
picked
it that was that same year, right? That was 2020. You were saying
yeah,
Jimmy
that was the
Butler MVP.
year. That was the year the Heat went to the finals.
Yeah, I forgot who I picked. Do you remember? Did I pick LeBron? Giannis?
Most li- most likely.
Something
You
like
probably
that.
I think you picked a safe pick.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, man.
I went out of my way to go for Jimmy, and he made me look pretty good. Like I don't know, but
Yeah, he balled out in those NBA finals, dude. Yeah, like I know he definitely had one. I don't know if he had a couple triple doubles, but he was balling, man. Like you can't blame Miami for losing. Like the Anthony Davis was playing out of his mind, and they had LeBron James. Like it is what it is, man. At least they got there. You know what I mean? No one expected them
yeah,
to get there.
the game that they did win was pretty impressive. Like from Jimmy Butler, like I think he played almost the whole game. But yeah,
Yeah, but all right, man. Cool. Let's move on to number four. Cleveland is picking again, dude. Which is insane to think that the Cavs had the first and fourth pick in this loaded draft.
is that me?
Jeez. Yeah, man, you're picking this one.
Uh,
So in real life, they took Tristan Thompson, but yeah,
yeah, I feel like just like when you think about just the combo that it is, I have to go with Kyrie. Because
Kyrie
then
Irving.
if you could have, yeah, if you could have Kyrie and Kawhi, that's like for defenses, that's a tough like who do
Hey,
you guard? Like do you double team both guys? Like it's just crazy. Like I had to go with that one.
Yo,
And Kyrie
I
to
just want
scores.
I just want your opinion real quick. Did you take Jimmy Butler number three also or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So okay, so everything's holding up the four. Damn, yo, me and you picked the same three, same four guys. And oh, that's beautiful. In the
Oh, you
same
pick
order.
Kyrie. You pick Kyrie four.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He couldn't slip more than four, but I like the pause, the three and D just a little more than Kyrie Irving. But yeah, like
Yeah,
100%, bro. Him and Kawhi, that's pretty beast mode.
yeah. So that's the main thing. Like obviously, he does have a lot of weird things going on right now, but he's already done a lot of good stuff. So the past year or I don't even know if it may the past like 16 months with the coronavirus, like pretty much everything's been crazy. So it's kind of hard to judge a guy in these times. So everything before the bubble, the guy was amazing. Like so there's no problems picking him fourth.
Yeah, I took Jimmy Butler over him purely because three and D. But like I said, Jimmy and Kyrie both kind of have some luggage that comes with them or baggage, however you want to say it. And Kyrie, everywhere he's gone, man, like he's had some weird moments. Like he went to Cleveland, they freaking make three straight NBA finals, and then out of nowhere, he's just like, I want to get traded. Like with no real logic behind it. Like you're playing with LeBron, you're playing with Kevin Love. You won a ring already with them. You're making the NBA finals, and then that just wasn't enough for him. He wanted to get traded. So he gets traded to Boston, and then in Boston, he has this weird moment where he tells like he gets on the mic, bro, in front of the freaking packed Boston Garden or whatever it's called, and tells them, if you guys will have me, I plan on re-signing here. And then what, like, was it like within 8 months, or it might have been like a year and a half? He just completely just changes his mind. And then I remember reporters would ask him, they're like, hey, because it was when the Celtics were kind of not playing up to par. And a reporter asked him, like, hey, remember you said like you were gonna resign with the Celtics. Like, do you still feel that way? And he was like, I don't know, man. Ask me in the offseason. And yeah, like Kyrie's a really complicated guy. Love the Kyrie because he's from New Jersey. Like he's born in Australia, but he was raised in New Jersey. So that's like, and he even like said it when he signed with the Nets that he grew up a New Jersey Nets fan. So that like obviously that wins points with me. Like, so I'm gonna like F with Kyrie on that. But we can't deny that this dude just he's a tough cookie to crack. And then now he's on the Nets, and there's like you said, there's this whole coronavirus thing, and everyone's going like bananas over this. Some people are like, no, we don't want to get vaccinated. Some people are super pro vaccination. And Kyrie's like at the forefront of not getting vaccinated. And the Nets play in New York, and New York has these crazy vaccination laws going on right now where like if you're not vaccinated, you damn near can't even breathe. And like basically what it boils down to is if he doesn't get vaccinated, like he cannot even play for the Nets, like at home, or I don't think he could play, period. And it's just a headache, man. It's just a headache. Like I understand 100% where he's coming from. Like, you know, I understand some people don't want to get vaccinated, but like it's just another one on his track record of just everywhere he goes, he's kind of just like there's drama, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, in my opinion, yeah, like he can't slide more than four, dude. Like I can't take like Nikola Vucevic over Kyrie Irving, even though he's really good. Like you just can't. Um, this dude was going beast mode when the Cavs came back from down 3-1. He hit the big shot over Steph Curry. So yeah, man, like this dude has shown on the biggest stage that he could perform, and brought the championship to Cleveland. So he's obviously an NBA champion, 7-time All-Star. So he was the rookie of the year. So he was, there you go, man. Like if all these people picked, he showed improved immediately. He put up the best percentages, not percentages, the best counting stats, and he won Rookie of the Year. So yeah, Kyrie Irving for sure.
All right. So that was my pick, right?
Yeah, you pick Kyrie.
All right. So now you have the fifth pick
All right, so
for
this is
Toronto Raptors.
yeah, this is Toronto. This is 2011. So I'm assuming they picked Jonas Valanciunas. I don't have that written down, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. They
assuming
picked
that's who they
Jonas.
picked. All right, so in our redraft, I'm kind of staying consistent. I'm taking a big man for the Raptors, but I'm not taking Vucevic. Excuse me, Valanciunas. I'm taking Vucevic with this one. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the Raptors the year before, 99 points a game, but they let up 105. They were one of the worst defensive teams, also 26th out of 30th. You're not really getting a lot of defense with Vucevic, but I don't know. It was honestly it came down to him and Valanciunas, but I just like Vucevic's game a little more. Like especially now, this dude's like hitting threes at a pretty respectable percentage. His last couple of years, he's like hovering at 4+ assists a game, and he's always been when he gets the minutes, he's always been a double guy. So yeah, man, I just like his game, man. Like he just seems like a little more versatile to me than Valanciunas. And quick thing I had written down here: the Raptors center rotation for the 2010-2011 season was Andrea Bargnani, Alexis Ajinça, and Joey Dorsey. So yeah, man, I think if you add Vucevic there, you're getting an upgrade. Um, Two-time NBA All-Star. That's kind of like the only real career accolade. But yeah, that was another thing. Like Valanciunas never made any All-Stars, so I was like, okay, I'm rocking with Vooch on in number fifth. Excuse me, number five.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got anything else to add, like as your justification for it,
Um,
or did
I
I
think
say everything already?
no, I also see that Vucevic he's played more minutes than Valanciunas. So that's
Yeah,
another thing. So yeah, it seems like Vucevic never gets hurt. So I think
yeah,
that's something to take into consideration, you know?
he's solid, man. He's solid. Like you want to do we're gonna do like a fantasy basketball segment after this one. Little spoiler. But I remember like Juan, our cousin, this dude was like the freaking Nikola Vucevic whisperer. Like he always ended up on his team. And I would
Yeah.
remember looking at some nights and being like, yo, Vucevic just freaking balled out. Like you would have some nights where he would go like 26 and 16, like 26 points, 16 boards. And I'm like, yo, this dude is official, man. Like he's just a really good player.
Yeah. No, now for some reason Jonas came up last year, posting up some big numbers, yo.
Yeah, yeah. I had that written
So
down. This was
I
like
don't know
it was like a breakout
that
year.
yeah. Like and
But
now he's on the Pelicans.
yeah.
So that's like a big if him and Zion could somehow like dominate the low post, man, that Pelicans got a good chance. But obviously losing Lonzo Ball, pretty bad decision. But getting Jonas, the big science he's called.
Oh, wow, that's oh man. Yo, shout out real quick. Clay Thompson, according to Basketball Reference, one of his nicknames is Big Smokey, which I've never heard anyone ever refer to Clay Thompson as Big Smokey. And
I hope somebody does now.
supposedly one of Kyrie Irving's nicknames is World B Flat. So yeah, that was that was a good one right there.
Yeah. Jonas Valanciunas is big science. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he likes science, but all right.
But yeah, man, we're going number six now. It's Washington, and you're picking for your beloved Wizards, I want to say, because I think you liked the Wizards at one point.
I do. I have some of their gear.
Yeah, so here you
Old
go,
school
man.
gear.
This is for your Wiz right here. You got to make the right pick, man.
But I have the Jordan gear, like the where they were kind of like a royal blue with the gold and the black.
which
That's
was
the
which was like that fresh stuff in my opinion. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
those
yeah.
Wizards jerseys. The
Now
Gilbert
now
Arenas era.
exactly now the Wizards is like red, white, and blue, and I'm just like, yo, how many teams are gonna have red, white, and blue, bro? Like,
It don't hit the same. It don't hit the same. Even that old Wizards logo with the little guy was just
yeah.
lit.
And they used to have DC, and it looked like sparkles or whatever, some wizard shit. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, for Washington, we're gonna go with Tobias Harris.
Oh, so this is the one. This right here was where our first disagreement. But go ahead, man. Yo, give me the case, bro. You might convince me.
Yeah, Tobias Harris, like I said about Vucevic, Tobias Harris does not get hurt. Like this guy, if if you're looking at a guy who is consistently playing at least like 70, like 70 games a year usually, even more, man. Like it's crazy. Like the guy he's just always playing is always like, but he's always getting traded too. So it's like it's all weird shit. But yeah, he's played 82 games twice, I believe. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. And that's something that I look for a lot, especially with these later guys in the draft. He actually got drafted number 19th overall to the Hornets. And I don't think then after that he played for he actually got traded to Milwaukee, right?
Yeah. He got wait, was he? He started, I think, in was it Milwaukee first or Orlando? I forget.
Milwaukee.
And then Milwaukee traded him to Orlando.
Yeah.
I remember there was one trade he was
He just been
involved.
all over the place.
There was one trade he was involved in. It was the first time he got traded.
He's been
And
traded a lot.
no, but I remember the first one was like abysmal, dude. You're like, yo, these guys just gave up on this guy. Yeah, I think it was Milwaukee. Yeah, for sure. They gave him to
Yeah.
Orlando, and it just was a bad haul. I forget what they got, but it was one of those trades where you're like, wow.
Yeah,
It
he
was
was
like
traded
Chris
on draft
Middleton
night.
esque. It was like Chris Middleton esque, where you
So
just trade him too early.
this guy's trade is crazy. He gets drafted by the Bobcats, immediately traded on draft night to the Bucks. Then he gets traded to the Magic.
Wait, do you know what he got traded to the Bucks for? What did the
Um,
Bobcats get? Probably like Steven
nah,
Jackson or something like
I
that.
don't
I
see
don't even
nothing.
know.
I don't see nothing here.
All
But
right.
when he was traded from Milwaukee to Orlando, he was traded with Doron Lamb and Beno Udrih. You remember Beno Udrih?
Yeah, man.
To
San Antonio Gray, probably the best point guard in their history behind Tony Parker.
the to the to the Orlando Magic in exchange for the recently retired JJ Redick.
Yeah, that like
Goose,
it was bad because I
Goose,
think JJ was there for like 1 year.
and then Gustavo Alfonso Ayon Aguirre and
That was a bad trade.
Ishmael Larry Smith. Ish Smith. So if you add up those three players, and then you see what Tobias Harris has done, I go with Tobias Harris. And then even didn't the Sixers end up having JJ Redick and Tobias Harris on the same squad?
Yeah, the
Crazy.
2019 one that lost to the Raptors. They were both on that team.
Yeah, it's crazy. Then he gets traded to the Pistons in exchange for Ersan Ilyasova and Brandon Jennings. Everybody
Horrible,
was on
bro.
everybody was on that Brandon Jennings hype.
Horrible. That is horrible, dude. That, oh man, that's like an unforgivable trade. Think about that, man.
Yeah.
Brandon Jennings, dude, and Ersan Ilyasova.
Then to the Los Angeles Clippers, Harris along with Avery Bradley, Boban, Marjanovic, so Boban, uh, a future first round pick and a second round pick in exchange for Blake Griffin. Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson. So Blake Griffin for Harrison, basically Avery Bradley. I think
That
that's
was
a pretty,
probably yeah, that was probably the most even one because
yeah, that's a pretty even one.
Blake had all those injuries and stuff, so there was some question marks with him.
And
But
then this one to the Sixers, Harris was traded with Boban again, and Mike's got to the Sixers in exchange for Wilson Chandler, Mike Muscala, and Landry Shamet.
that is horrible. That is horrible. But that was in the Clippers' defense. I think that one was they were trying to get off of Tobias Harris's money because they were trying to have that flashy offseason to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So
Which they did.
in their defense, you know.
Yeah. But it says they also got a number of future draft picks, so Sixers gave some draft picks.
Yeah, and then now he's on
Yeah.
the Sixers and he's doing pretty good, man. He's been a solid player his whole career, but for some reason, like you said, it's like people aren't satisfied with him. They're just like, "Oh, you're here for a year or two, and then we ship you off for worse talent in return."
Bro, but he's pretty solid with all the numbers. Like career 47.5% field goal, 36.7 3-point, and 82% free throw shooter. Solid guy, man. He plays a lot of minutes and he scores a lot of points, gets 6 rebounds a night. This guy's solid. Like that's something I wrote in my notes, right? Um, it feels like the Wizards have never had a solid like middle of the lineup type of guy. Like they've always had either a point guard or a center, and not even really a center. Like in my lifetime, right? Because before they had like Wes Unseld and all those guys, I never saw those guys. But point guard, it's always been Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, now Bradley Beal, like Russell Westbrook. But they've never had that solid like middle range type of guy, like a small forward or even a really solid power forward center. So this is why I picked Tobias Harris. Like you got to just see like the guy they actually picked was Jan Vesley. Who the hell is that?
Yeah, dude. When I saw that, I remembered, and I was just like, "Oh my god,
Who the hell is this guy, dude?
this is a deep draft, dude." And you're the team that walked away with Jan Vesley. Like,
Jesus Christ. This
yeah,
is just
man.
such a terrible pick. And it's not like Tobias Harris was a bum. He played at University of Tennessee. Like it was a solid squad. Like what do you want? Like you go with Jan Vesley, dude?
Yeah, I don't know.
You kidding
It's
me?
puzzling. It's puzzling.
He played for the Tennessee Volunteers as a freshman under Bruce Pro. This dude, Bruce Pro, if you don't know him, dude, he's a well-respected guy. He always brings like these Tennessee teams are always strong. They have a lot of heart, and he played point forward position. So if the Wizards are always getting these point guards like Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, all that, this guy's a point forward. This is basically what you want out of Ben Simmons. But this was 2011 draft. So I don't know, man. It says here in a spot in the SEC all freshman team. He ranked fifth among all freshmen, 15.3 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, and it's solid for the NBA, man. And he's a big guy, 6'8". So I don't know why would you go with Jan Vesley? God damn it.
Look, the thing I didn't take Tobias Harris for the Wizards. I actually took Jonas Valanciunas for them for the similar thing you said. Like they just always needed a center. That's why I took Val. I took Tobias number 8 in mine. I actually had him going to the Pistons. But I mean, since you took him, he's off the board. I'm just gonna drive home your point. Like he is a great player, man, and he could play the 3 and the 4. And we know how the NBA is right now with teams playing small ball, and he fits right in. Like he was good, early on in his career, like in the 2013, 2014 season, where the league wasn't even all the way just threes, 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 he was still performing pretty good. And then just, yeah, just to know that even as the league transitions, like he could transition with it and play a small ball 4 or 3, like he just fits in, man. And like you said, his numbers aren't like incredible, but they're solid, man. 16-6 on his career, 47.5 field goal, 30. But we'll give him the love. 37% from three, 83 free throws. Like he's just efficient, man. He doesn't really hurt you in anything. So I mean, I don't really know how good of a defender he is. I'm not gonna like lie to you and say like I know that, but as far as scoring efficiently, yeah, man, you're getting that with Tobias Harris.
So that was number 6 pick. So now you have 7, right?
Yeah, so since you took uh Tobias Harris to the Wizards, I had Valanciunas there, obviously, but Valanciunas is gonna like he's now gonna drop in mine because number 7 is Sacramento. I can't take Valanciunas there because the Kings literally just drafted the year before they drafted DeMarcus Cousins. So
Yeah.
there's no way I'm doing that, which is funny because that's exactly what the Kings did in real life. Like they had DeMarcus Cousins, and for some reason they're like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna keep drafting more centers, more centers. And you're just like, dude, this is exactly why you're the Sacramento Kings and you haven't had much success since 2000 and since like that. I guess it's like 2004 was like the last really good Kings team, but it's for reasons like that. But for number 7, I'm taking Kemba Walker in my best Stephen A. Smith voice. He's going to the Sacramento Kings. And it's the right pick. I honestly like the fit. Yeah, yeah. You're going crazy behind the scenes. People can't see it, but I'm assuming that you took Kemba Walker also, right?
Yeah, Kemba.
All right, so you know, this is just how I get down. I gotta give the breakdown, man. The year before this one, the Kings were 15th in points per game, 99.4 a game. They gave up 104.7. They were 25th out of 30 teams on defense. So yeah, I mean, middle of the tier offensively, horrific on defense. Um, So, obviously here you'd be wanting to look for defense, but like we kind of took all the really good defenders already. Like we already took the Jimmy Butlers and the Klay Thompsons. So the next best thing for me was picking Kemba Walker, and just picking him and putting him with DeMarcus Cousins as your like big man, small guy. Uh, yeah, or small guy, big guy for the next how many years is just I always like those combos, man. Like I always liked having a good big and a good point guard. Like, the New Jersey Nets with like they were always victims of this. They always had like they had Kidd and Carter and Jefferson, and it was like a lot of perimeter stuff. But then you looked at their center position, and it was always like the Jason Collins, and even the Wizards. They always had like really good guards, like you said, Gilbert Arenas. But then you would look, and they got like Eton Thomas and shit, and Brendan Haywoods. So, in my opinion, if you could have like a really good point guard or shooting guard, and then like a really good power forward or center, like you're doing some good stuff with your franchise. And like Kemba Walker, you would know, like you probably would have more details than me, but I just remember like seeing like some of his UConn highlights, and the dude was like pretty good. He had that infamous play where he did like the step back and he dropped the defender, and then he hit the jumper for the win in Madison Square Garden. Like, so yeah, and then yeah, just a couple more things, man. The Kings point guard rotation the year before this draft is basically Beno Udrih, which is like crazy, right? It's the second name drop. Luther Head, and then they were kind of playing like Tyreek Evans as like a shooting guard, just handling the ball. So you put Kemba Walker in there, you just got more ball handlers. Like you could play Kemba with Tyreek Evans at the same time, have some multiple guys who can handle the rock, and then with Boogie Cuz, like I think it's the perfect fit, man. hopefully in real life the Kings don't like ruin his career because for some reason the Kings like were a dysfunctional franchise. But like, yeah, man, Kemba Walker, man. Like you agreed with me, man. So like what was your logic behind this one?
Yeah, Kemba, like I don't know if people don't respect him that much, but yeah, even in high school, he was really good. Then he went to college in UConn. He won a national championship with them, and he was like the leading scorer in the nation. Like this guy could score, man. And even when you saw him come like as a rookie, he came in. He didn't score that much, like 12 points. But then after that, then 17, 17, 17, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Like the guy's good at scoring and he still gets you good assists, like 5 assists a night and
Yo,
close to
his
four
his best scoring season, he put up 25.6 points a game. So it's pretty official.
with almost 6 assists and more than 4 rebounds. So he's almost there at that 25 and 5. And that year he played 82 games. So what else can you ask for? Like he plays every game, scores a lot of points, gets you solid assists, solid rebounds, 4 point guard. He is undersized. Like obviously like 6 foot is pretty much like kind of like the standard for like minimum for a point guard. Like if you have a guy who's smaller than 6 feet, then you kind of like really say he's undersized. Like I think Kyle Lowry's like 5'11", right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So Kyle Lowry, like even him, but he's still really good too. So
No, but
doesn't really need much.
Lowry's like he's strong though. That's why he gets away with it. Like he could body you. He might be shorter than you, but he'll body you.
Yeah, that was kind of like that Nate Robinson thing. Like Nate Robinson was always like a stocky dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when you see that he could still like perform, like score a lot of points. Um, and it's not like he doesn't get steals. Like he gets one plus steal a night, you know? So
For
like
yeah,
what
for his career, 1.3 steals on average.
yeah, so good defense. So it's not like he's like a nobody on defense and it's just the Kings, man. It's just you gotta help yourself.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
we're
guy just
giving
won a
you
championship.
we're giving you the blueprint. We're giving you something good to start off with. Like you have Kemba, you have DeMarcus Cousins. If you could just draft semi decently in the upcoming years, you might be making the playoffs. Like, but it's just the Kings, man. They always find a way to like just fucking do horrible in drafts, man.
Yeah. They just like you said, they just kept picking freaking centers
Wi-
after centers.
Willie Cauley
Willie Cauley
Stein,
Stein. Yeah.
Papa Gina, some like Greek guy they took one year. I'm like, yo, even like, oh man, they're just always taking bigs, dude. And it's just like, are you just like every year? It's like, what big are we gonna take that hopefully we nail it this year? Like, dude, just I don't know, man. It's crazy. And it's crazy how some teams they just can't get it right, man. And then you have certain teams that like they'll rebuild twice in like the time that one team finally rebuilds, and you're like, this is the difference, man. Like look at Houston, dude. Houston literally just traded James Harden, and they already seem like in a 8 month period they're on a better rebuild track than the Kings have been in the last 17 years. So or like 15 years. So it just I don't know, man. Yeah, so we're setting them off on a good track. Like Kemba was a four-time All-Star in his career, or not was, like he's still playing from 2017 through 2020, four straight, made a NBA third team NBA in 2019, which I think that might have been that season I said where he put up 25.6 points a game. For his career, he's like damn near a 20-point scorer, 5.5 assists, almost 4 boards, almost 1.5 steals. Like, yeah, man, he's good. He's good. Like, this is just what the Sacramento Kings needed. And yeah, who picked this one? It was me, right?
I think so. But yeah, I just wanted to compare like if you see
Who they take in real
Uh
life? Do you know? Who they take?
oh,
Sacramento. Wasn't it like Jimmer
Bismack.
Fredette or something? Oh,
N-
Bismack.
No, Bismack Biombo.
Oh yeah, and then they traded him to Charlotte. Oh, which by the way, let me just say this. Kemba, you can't hold it against him, bro. The teams he was on were really bad, dude. Like the Charlotte Bobcats, his rookie year won like 7 games. They were percentage wise the worst team in NBA history, percentage wise for the regular season. And Charlotte, all those years he was on them, like MJ, bro, or whoever was making these trades, like they just always put him with these weird guys. Like when you have like MKG and Cody Zeller and like, oh man, they just always had these weird players that I was like, I don't love anyone on this team. The only guy I like, Kemba Walker. That's it. So like you can't hold it against him if you're like, oh, he hasn't made the playoffs a lot. It's like he's obviously not LeBron, like, but he's great, dude. Like just put some competent talent around him and you might get playoff success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like I think when we did the Utah Jazz video, everyone was getting on us about Jared Butler. He's the guy that the Jazz drafted. Um yeah, this guy he has like very similar history.
Who, Butler
Um
or Kemba Walker?
they both have a very similar college career.
Oh, okay.
Like this dude Jared Butler, he was the preseason Big 12 player of the year. He recorded a season high 30 points, 8 assists. Um he won the national championship with Baylor, just like Kemba won the national championship with UConn. Um, he scored 22 points. As a junior, he averaged 16 points, 4.8 assists, 3.3 rebounds. But obviously, Kemba was way better at scoring. Like he was averaging like 10 more points a game. So there's a big difference there. So it's like I'm not saying like this dude can't be good, but when people start saying like, oh yeah, the Jazz like they're really good. Like obviously we said that in our video, right? We said the Jazz bench is really good. Having this guy on your bench is really good too, Jared Butler. But yeah, he led the team to a national championship and all that. But we got to see what he could do in the NBA. Same thing with Kemba. Like when Kemba came in, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, he's kind of small. Let's see if he could still score like how
Exactly.
he was scoring. Let's see if Kemba could keep that scoring from college and transition to the NBA, which is a lot bigger guys, you know." So we're not saying Jared Butler sucks. I'm not saying Jared Butler is anything.
We
We're
just
just
gotta
saying
see it play out.
basically like Kemba. Everybody said, yeah, we got to see it play out. Let's see if he could do this. Jared
Yeah.
Butler could. And if he does, Jazz are freaking set, dude. Like, then Jared Butler at point guard, Donovan Mitchell shooting guard, Rudy G at,
Rudy G.
at small forward,
That's an inside
Ru-
joke, man, to
Rudy
anyone who
Rudy G at
watches.
center as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got double Rudy G's, Mike Conley. They got a good team, man. But yo, uh, yeah, man. Anything else on this Kemba pick?
No, no, that's it, man. No, we're good.
All right, no doubt, man. Voice crack. All right, yo. So
Yeah, yeah.
number 8, we got the Detroit Pistons, and you are on the clock. I don't know
So
who they take in real life. Do you know?
Brandon Knight.
Brandon. Oh man, the human. No disrespect, the human low light. Brandon Knight missed
So
layups, getting dunked on, crossed by
yeah.
Kyrie. This is where I initially had Tobias Harris, but he's off the board. Who are you taking?
So number da, da, da. So number 8, we picked. No, so this is number 8. This is Detroit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Kemba's off the board.
I'm picking Jonas because he's still available on my board,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%. No one's taking him.
Yeah,
He's
so I
still
picked
still
Jonas
on there.
because Jonas, like we said before, he's really come into his own lately.
I probably
Like
would have taken him too, right here. I would
yeah,
have taken him too.
the last year he's been really good, and hopefully he continues. Um, he's a solid big man. Like shoots above 55%. Like solid free throws. He doesn't hurt you with the free throws. So he's not a guy like Clint Capella that shoots like 50%. You could just hack a Valanciunas or whatever.
Yo,
Um,
career 56.6% field goal. Like that's very efficient, dude.
yeah, and almost a double double, like 12.9 point
9.2.
9.2 rebounds. So it's something that Detroit would have needed. Um, even if they ended up getting Andre Drummond and all that, like we've seen
No,
before,
they
like Clint.
already. Oh no, Drummond. They already think. I think they already did have Drummond. Wasn't Drummond like 2010, or was that Greg Monroe? I don't know. I'm tripping.
Even if it like what I'm saying is like this is like imaginary, right? So like imagine if they still end up getting Greg Monroe and Drummond and all those guys, like I think the Twin Towers is still good, you know? Like it's not a bad thing to have like the big man teaming up together, you know?
No, they didn't have Andre Drummond. They did have Greg Monroe, but like knowing what we know about Greg Monroe's career, it didn't turn out that well. I would much rather have Valanciunas. So yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah, because Drummond got drafted 2012 the next year.
Yeah, so yeah, Valanciunas, man.
So imagine Valanciunas and Drummond together. Like of course, like these GMs might be like, "Oh, we have Valanciunas, we're not gonna pick Drummond," but let's just imagine they pick both of them. That's a pretty scary
I
power forward center combo.
I'd probably be in the camp that wouldn't take Andre Drummond the next year if I took Valanciunas. But I mean, in this one, we're just sticking with 2011. Like I think it's the right pick at number 8, man. Val, this guy, like the thing about him, dude, he's only 25.6 minutes a game for his career. And you think like if they could put him like Vucevic, for example, he has the gaudier numbers, but he's averaging like 33 minutes a game. So you just can't help but think like, yo, if they, and I don't know why they aren't playing Valanciunas a lot of minutes, but if this guy gets unleashed and just has a season where he's averaging like 35 minutes a game, he could easily be like a
Yeah.
17 and 13 guy or something like that, which is on insanely good, 56% field goal for his career. Like if he could do like a 17 and 12 on good field goal percentage, like that's great, man. What more do you want out of a starting center?
But that's almost what we got. Like it's funny, like what you're saying, that's almost what we got last year. He did 28 minutes, 17 points, 12 and a half rebounds. That's what you want from the guy, you know? And if he's shooting his field goal percentage is almost 60%,
Yeah.
59%. And then he's still shooting free throws at 77%. Man, he's a good guy to have in your squad, you know?
Yeah, I had that written down what he did for the Grizzlies last year. That was pretty good, man. Like he definitely bumped it up. Like he only did 3 minutes over his career minutes average and did 17 and 12. Like that's great. I don't know why. Like it just further drives home the point. I don't know why Memphis just gave up on him in real life. Like, why wouldn't you want Valanciunas, dude? Like, you really wanted Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe.
Dude, they made the
Like,
playoffs. Like, it wasn't like they were bums.
yeah, I don't know. That was a confusing trade. That was like when we were doing our offseason recap. I hated that trade for Memphis. Like, I don't know. I just would much rather have Valanciunas. And he's starting to shoot threes now. Like, so he's adapting with the league. I just don't see how he
Yeah.
hurts you, man. This guy, you can have him in the game late. He can get fouled. He's gonna go up there and make his free throws. You feel comfortable with him out on the floor, like he's not a Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? As far as
Yeah.
free throws goes. So yeah, man. I mean I agree with this one, man. What else you got on this one? Anything else?
That's it.
All right, cool. So I gotta just so that was number 8. Okay, let me see. Hold on, because this is where it gets like tricky because people off the board. All
Yeah, the
right.
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I have well, at this time, Charlotte Bobcats. I got
Yeah, my
Tobias off
bad.
the board. Okay, no, you know what? Everything is gonna stay true to form with me on this pick. Number 9 for the Charlotte Bobcats at the time. Who did they take? Do you remember? Was this the
Kemba.
Kemba? This was the
Kemba.
damn. Kemba went ninth. She's okay. Kemba's off the board in this redraft. He couldn't slip anymore for me, dude. I'm taking Isaiah Thomas, IT number 9. Um, if you look at the 2011 Bobcats, they were 93 and a half points a game, which was 29th out of 30 teams. So they were pretty bad on offense, man. They were pretty respectable on defense. Like they only allowed 97.3, which was 11th out of 30 teams. Um, which IT kind of goes against because he's undersized. He's been criticized as being one of the worst point guard defenders in his heyday. But I'm making this one purely off of kind of like his peak, man. Like for who's left in this draft, Isaiah Thomas at his peak, this dude was a bucket getter. One year he averaged 28.9 points a game, which I think was the 2017 season with Boston. And by his third year in the league, he was with Sacramento. He was already putting up 20 plus points a game. So, in my opinion, like you take him and your offense in Charlotte just got a lot better, especially considering that their point guard rotation the year before was DJ Augustine and Sean Livingston pre Golden State Warriors. So, uh, man, if I'm taking Isaiah Thomas, I'm playing him immediately over DJ Augustine and Sean Livingston. And finished fifth in MVP voting in the MVP race in 2017. And he just, his career was a little shorter than you wanted, but he had like a 4-year, 5-year run where this dude was just a bucket getter, man. And yeah, I'm gonna value that. I like points. So number 9, I don't think Isaiah Thomas could fall any lower than this.
Yeah, do the same thing.
Oh, for you picked Isaiah Thomas number 9?
Yeah, it's pretty much like that's what you need. Like with the Bobcats, like you need a scorer. Like they suck all around. Like just them having Kemba, I feel like was a good decision. Like Kemba was an attraction, and like obviously it's entertainment. Um, if the rest of your team sucks, at least you have somebody that's good. Like Isaiah Thomas, man. You need a score. You need somebody that's gonna bring the fans in and at least give you a chance.
Yeah, when he was with the Celtics, he quickly became a fan favorite. And just to further drive home the Isaiah Thomas pick, he's literally the last guy left in this draft who made an All-Star game, and he made 2 of them. So that's worth something, man. Like he made it in 2016 and 2017. He made All NBA second team in 2017. So like in his prime, he was great. Um, and I'll honestly say this: a lot of those Celtics teams that Isaiah Thomas was on that made the playoffs. Granted, they were in the East, but if you look at those teams, they weren't great teams, and like they were making the playoffs with Isaiah Thomas as the best player. Like those Celtics teams had weird. They had like Jay Crowder, Evan Turner, Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley. Like none of these guys are household names. IT was the guy who stood out amongst all of them, was the clear-cut best player on those teams, and he was taking them to the playoffs. He was good enough to make the 2 All-Star games. So yeah, man, like I know now, like it ended abruptly. He got injured, and then it kind of just effed his career up. Like now he kind of became like a journeyman for a few years. Like got traded to Cleveland, and then Cleveland just gave up on him really quickly, and they just bounced around, and now he's out of the league, which is like a tragic tale. But yeah, man, in his prime, bucket getter, bro. I'm taking that for
But
Charlotte.
still I don't feel bad for the guy, man. Like 10 solid years. Like in the NBA, like I think a lot of us would trade that, like that's good. But honestly, like one of the coolest things is his nickname. His nickname was Pizza Guy.
Yeah, that one was weird. Like I for sure would have thought. The funny one is like I always heard people calling him IT, but for
Yeah.
some reason, Basketball Reference doesn't even have IT as his nickname, but they have Pizza Guy.
Yeah.
So I
That
was
was
like,
so
what the
dumb.
hell is this one, man? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Shit
that
is
was
so dumb, dude. For some reason they call him Pizza Guy. All right.
I never heard anyone in my life call Isaiah Thomas the pizza guy ever, ever. I was never ever watching one of those Celtics playoff games when he was on them and heard like Marv Albert or whoever say the pizza guy, Isaiah Thomas.
I
Never.
I wish I wish that in the NBA you would see the commentary guys pull up basketball reference and be like, all right, in the starting lineup, we have Pizza Guy.
Isaiah the pizza guy Thomas. Horrific,
Yeah,
bro.
man. We have Big Smokey.
Clay Big Smokey Thompson. Like
Yeah. And everybody in the crowd is like, what? What did he just say?
I think the Big Smokey thing is because Clay got arrested for marijuana possession in college, but I never heard anyone call him Big Smokey, man. So I'm just,
This is this is another reason why it would be even funnier if these guys mention it. Because Clay be like, what the fuck, man? Who told him to say that shit? That was a long time ago.
yeah, man. But yo, I'm glad we agreed on that IT. Yeah, it was tragic that he fell this low because I remember like it was only like a couple years ago. It seemed like IT
Bro.
was like
And
that guy.
he gave me hope. Guys like him,
5'9".
obviously, yeah, 5'9", dude. I'm like an inch shorter than the guy. So that guy gives me so much hope. Like, see,
He wasn't like jacked or anything. Like he seemed like a
yeah,
regular dude you would see in the street.
but super good. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. And this dude, like, yo, he would throw himself in the lane, dude. Like he would drive amongst
Yeah.
defenders and finish around the rim. And yeah, man, just IT, bro. I know you said not to feel sorry for him, but I guess the reason I said that is because obviously this guy had a chip on his shoulder probably throughout his whole life. Like college and stuff like that. He was probably like that
I do
undersized.
feel, I'll be honest, I do feel sorry the way that the media portrayed him. Like his last season that was like really good, where they were like, oh, well, he just got that contract and now it's like he's not really performing. And it's like, bro, injuries happen, like,
No, he wait, he I don't think he did get that contract like that. I feel like that was the joke. People were like, "Oh, Isaiah Thomas said that they better back up the Brinks truck," and now like he's not getting paid anything near what he thought he was. I thought that was a joke, but
yeah, I felt bad about that.
yeah,
Like,
but yeah, like much like Derek. Well, Derek Rose to a lesser extent, but like IT, like I was saying, you feel like this guy just overcame the odds and was performing really well when probably not probably people didn't think he would. Like it was obvious. Like we failed to mention this. Isaiah Thomas was the last pick in this draft. He was 60th.
yeah,
So if that doesn't show you that this guy was doubted, like I don't know what will. The only thing that would is like
yeah,
going
almost
undrafted.
undrafted,
Yeah,
almost
it's
undrafted.
basically going undrafted. But last pick, dude, and had almost a 30 point per game season, and it just seemed like obviously he wasn't on top of the world, but like he was damn near there, man. Like people really liked Isaiah Thomas. They were rooting for him, and it just ended really short. And then, no pun intended. And then, yeah, just short career, and you feel like he just got robbed of more peak production years, man. But yeah, IT number 9, number 10. We got the Bucks, man. Who you got?
Well, I went to Sacramento in the end, but I picked Reggie Jackson.
Oh, okay. We disagree on this one. Shout out to the
Yeah,
Sacramento Kings because they, for some reason, they really wanted Jimmer Fredette, who, yeah. Didn't do well.
Yeah, Jimmer didn't do well, man. Yeah, I ended up going Reggie Jackson, man. He's solid point guard. I feel like one of the best point guards still left, and
Solid pick. Solid pick.
yeah, I think he's also one of those guys that he didn't get that much play in the beginning. Like I didn't really like hear his name, thrown out too
This
often, and especially he got drafted and he actually went to OKC and he barely played. He had like 11 minutes, 14 minutes those first 2 years.
because they
But
had
obviously we
Russ
know that Westbrook dominated. But then after that, then he starts getting some minutes. You start seeing some pretty good production from him. And then you actually see who he is, like it was 1 year, 18.8 points per game,
with Detroit.
6 assists. Yeah, like solid production, man.
Yeah, I saw somewhere online that like he got traded from Oklahoma City kind of because he had some like drama with them where I think he wanted more playtime or something like
It makes
he
sense, bro.
yeah, and exactly. He goes to Detroit and he has some pretty good years. Like I don't think it was the year that he put up the 18 point something you said, but I think it was the year before that. He averaged like 9 point something assists. I remember seeing. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, this is good, dude. You're almost
In
putting up double
fantasy,
digit.
in fantasy, that was a steal.
Oh, do you remember who had Reggie Jackson that year?
No, no, no. Such a long time ago, but that was a steal, dude. Almost 18 points a game, almost 10 assists per game from a guy that's 100% not getting drafted in the top 3 rounds. Yo, solid steal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he had a good career, man. And
He's still playing though.
yeah, he's on the Clippers right now.
Yeah, potential like championship contending team, like if everybody's healthy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my Reggie Jackson. I took him 12th in mine. I took Reggie Jackson, but I'm just looking at my stuff because I want to give him his proper credit.
Dude, the thing is, like, he's a guy like Valanciunas. Valanciunas doesn't get as many minutes as he probably should get because he'd be posting monster numbers. Same thing like those first 2 seasons of OKC. Like, if you give him the ball and he's producing more, then obviously his numbers will be padded up a little bit more like these other guys.
Yeah.
But those 2 seasons not being really counted for him scoring 3 and 5 points a game and like 1.6 and 1.7 assists, that hurts him a lot. 2 years of that.
Yeah, that's like when we mentioned their career averages, like sometimes it doesn't, I said it with Kawhi, the very first pick. I was like, oh, his career averages don't look that great, but it's, you got to take into consideration some of these guys, their first 2 years, they're getting like 7 minutes of play time. And what could you really do in 7 minutes? But that
Yeah,
still counts towards your overall average. So
yeah,
Reggie Jackson, 12.6 points, 4.2 assists, 2.9 rebounds. Those are his career averages. 43% field goal, pretty much 35% from three, 85.5% free throws. He was good, man. He went to Detroit uh after he kind of I guess forced his way out of Oklahoma City, and that could have like that door could have slammed in his face really badly. Like he could have got a reality check, underperformed, and then people probably would have clowned him. But first year in Detroit was 14-15. I don't know what his points were, but like I said, he averaged 9.2 assists a game, which is solid. I know he definitely did double digit points. And then the next year, 2015-2016 season, he averages the 18.8. Like, and
yeah,
and that 2016 Pistons team, which the Pistons are another team that like pretty much when they lost like Chauncey Billups and all that, they just had these years of like darkness, bro, just horrible stuff, consistently being in the lottery. And 2016, they actually made the playoffs, and Reggie Jackson was their starting point guard. So, you know, that counts for something, man. You're the starting point guard on a team that made the playoffs. In my opinion, that counts for something. And yeah, man, I like this pick for you. I took him a little later, but it's a solid pick. You got anything else?
no, that's it.
All right, let's see. Hold up. All right, so moving on down now. 11th. Oh man, the Golden State Warriors are picking who in real life took Klay Thompson, and
This is tough.
this is
This is
obviously
a
gonna get
this is a real drop.
yeah, this is gonna be an insane drop, bro. Like you're not gonna have Klay Thompson anymore. But okay, so you all right, so you didn't take the guy that I had 10th, but damn, do I still because this is like based on my team needs. Do I still want to take this guy? So I'm gonna tell you who I picked 10th. I picked Ennis Cancer 10 for
Oh,
yeah, I picked Ennis
so
Cantor.
close.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to see because I don't know if I want to take him for Golden State. Like it might be the Valanciunas thing where like he might slip now. Let me see. Golden State.
That's so
Ah
close, man.
man. So oh shit. I'm assuming that you picked him for Golden State then.
No, no, no.
No? Oh man. Yo,
No, you're
basically,
right. Yeah,
basically
number
it's
11. Yeah, yeah, I picked him. I picked Enes Kanter, number 11.
basically it's between Ennis Cantor and Tristan Thompson here.
Oh
And
my God, go Ennis.
look, the reason why I picked Tristan Thompson, well, obviously because
What?
Ennis was off my board, but it was because
Oh, I get it.
but
I
it
get it
was
now.
but it was because Golden State was really bad on defense the year before. And like if you've seen or just listening to podcasts, you hear it through the grapevine. A lot of people say Ennis Cantor's a really bad defender. So I'm kind of like, all right, I'm already a really bad defensive team.
Wait, look,
This is
the problem is, right? If you look at the minutes split with Tristan Thompson and Enes Kanter, it's a massive difference.
yeah, yeah.
Massive difference.
I hear, man. That's why like man, because I know Ennis, bro, like that dude, if you give him the playtime, he's easily a double guy.
Yeah, his season where he had 31. Uh,
Was it that Knicks season?
no, he had a OKC like 26 game run.
Oh, when he got traded there in 15.
Yes, 26 games of 31 minutes per game, 18.7 points, 11 rebounds a game.
I remember that, bro. That was the
So
first year I
almost
did fantasy
almost
with you
19 and
guys.
11.
That was the
Yeah,
first year I
yeah.
did fantasy with you guys. And I remember like when Ennis Cantor was that guy. I remember Michael Carter Williams was another one. Like he got traded, and then you were just like, but I think Michael Carter Williams was the opposite. Like he was putting up monster numbers for the horrible Sixers that year. Then he got traded to Milwaukee, and then his numbers dipped. But I remember Ennis Cantor was the opposite. Like this guy got traded to OKC, his numbers just shot up, and I remember being like, "Yo, whoever got that guy is like." Man. It's basically like, do I want the grit of Tristan Thompson to help me
Yeah.
out on defense, or do I want the like, we suck anyways? Let's take Ennis Cantor, play him 30 minutes, and hopefully he gives us like a 15 and 10. This is a tricky one, man. I'm not even gonna edit any of this out because this is real. Like this is we're GMs right now, and this is how GMs like really are. They're playing with their chin hair. They're talking to people, trying to see who should we take. Should we take Klay Thompson or should we take Kenneth Faried? I'm all right, man. I'm sold. I'm gonna take Ennis Cantor, number 11 for Golden State because let me pull up the little portion I had on
Yeah.
him. Uh yeah, so like I said, I know the knocks that come with him. People say he's a really bad defender, probably one of the worst five-man centers in the NBA. But yeah, when this guy got a chance, like he put up double doubles and like really good ones. Like he would 18 and 10s, 15 and 12s in very limited minutes. So it's much like Valanciunas. Like if you just bump his minutes up a little, you're gonna get some pretty solid production from him. And yeah, man, I just always liked Dennis Cantor. He was on like some good Oklahoma City teams. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I really gotta say. He doesn't really have any like crazy career accolades. Like he never won any championships or any all-star games or anything, but just a solid guy to have, man. Especially if you're Golden State, just like super deprived of talent. This is pre-Splash Bros Warriors, and in this redraft, the Splash Bros are not going to exist because Clay's not going 11th. But yeah, Ennis Cantor, man, you got what was your case, man? Give me a case.
Well, like why pick Enos Cantor?
Yeah, number 11 for Golden State.
The main thing is just like the minutes prom. That if you give him the minutes, man, he's a double double. That was the main thing, and I didn't really see anyone else with that type of like resume and with the potential to do that. So
Yeah,
I
that's the
went with
that's
Enos.
that's the good word right there, the potential. Yeah, that's the great word. Um, I'm gonna give you a couple more things because I ended up taking a center for Golden State. Like originally, I was gonna take Tristan Thompson. So like I had did research on their center rotation, and the 2011 Warriors center rotation was Andres Biedrins, Dan Gadzurich, and Ekpe Udo. So
Yeah.
like I feel very comfortable taking Ennis Canner and just throwing him into the fire and being like, yeah, man, here you go. Play 30 minutes and let's see how this goes. And much like what you said about the minutes, like his career averages are 11 and a half points and 7.9 rebounds a game in 22 minutes played, dude. Like that's not even half the game. 22 minutes is super lightweight. And if you get that up to 30, 32, 10 more minutes, you're looking at maybe like a 15 and 10 guy. You know what I mean? And 54.8 field goal percentage for his career, 77.6 from the line. Like I love, Paul's big man who could shoot their free throws, man. Like, that's crucial, man. Like if you can have your bigs out there and they in late game situations and Ennis Kanter's gonna get killed on defense, but at least if he gets hacked around the rim, he's gonna go up there and make his free throws. That's worth something to me. So Ennis Cantor,
Well,
for
yeah,
sure, for
they
sure.
they had they had David Lee at power forward, and they already had obviously Monta Ellis and Steph Curry. So if you just put Monta, Steph, David Lee,
And
Cantor,
Cantor.
and then
I think their starting small forward was like Darrell Wright. So yeah.
yeah, that small forward spot is pretty weak. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I don't
but
know.
then again, so was the center position. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right,
All right,
yeah.
cool, man.
So that's pretty
Uh
much it.
all right. So moving on, number 12, you're up, and it's Utah, which is I'm just gonna say this is where I
Utah.
initially this is where oh wait, I go?
No, no, Utah again.
Yeah, Utah 12.
They had Enos Cantor number 3, and then they go number 12, Alec Burke.
Alec Burks. In my redraft, I took Reggie Jackson here, but obviously he's off the board. So I'm curious to see who you got.
I took Markeith Morris.
Markeith.
Yeah.
Not even Marcus. Markeith.
Which do you like better?
I like Marcus Morris more.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But Markeith gets a little more rebounding, a
The,
little
you know,
more assists.
their numbers are super. Like, how they're twins, and it's like even their NBA production is like it's the same thing. They're literally twins as far as production goes. Because one guy gets you like a smidget more rebounds, but then this guy gets you a smidget more points, and then you're like, what do I value more? It's like, oh,
Well,
this guy has a little bit better field goal percentage, but then this guy has a little bit better 3-point percentage, and you're like, yo, these
so
guys are literally twins.
with Markeith, I value that he played 34 more games than Marcus. There you go.
Yo, this is where we zagged hard as F, yo, because I didn't even have Markeith in my lottery. So,
So I pretty much go Markeith, Marcus, and then my last pick.
all right. I mean, that's it. It's literally like that's all your justification. You're just like, I like the amount of games he played. Like, I mean, he was
No, no,
solid,
no, no, no,
man.
no. No, they're both solid, man. They're both solid guys. Like,
No,
I have
not even Markieff versus Marcus. I'm literally just saying like justification for just Markieff Morris 12th, like to Utah. Like, well, just break it down for me, man. Like, obviously, like for starters, this guy was a 3/4 who could hit the three ball. That's good.
yeah. Well, Marquise nickname is Snoop Dogg, so here we go.
Yeah, that's a good enough reason. After that, you don't got to justify anything else, man. But
Yeah, that's it.
I don't really have a lot of Markieff Morris notes because, like I said, he wasn't even in my lottery. So
Who would you have picked?
what, 12th?
Yeah, who was your 12th pick?
Well, in mine, I had Reggie Jackson, but he's off the board right now.
So you would have gone Tristan.
But no, let me see though, because who did I take the? No, I don't even know if I would have, man. Because
You
the reason why I took Reggie Jackson in mine, because in mine he was still on the board. The reason why I took him is because in my perfect world, the Utah Jazz already have Al Jefferson, and I know that Devin Harris is gonna fall off a cliff quickly. Like after when Devin Harris goes to Utah, he quickly falls off, man. Like so I'm
yeah.
taking so my thing was I taking Reggie Jackson. Right there, I got Reggie, Jimmy Butler, Gordon Hayward, Paul Millsap, Al Jefferson, and I'm like cool with like a starting five if everything clicks the right way. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tricky one, man. Because like I said, I already have Al Jefferson. Do I really want to take Tristan Thompson? Like maybe I will just for like the grit and like okay, you know, Big Al's injury prone. Maybe you have a backup center. So probably Tristan Thompson. If I was picking 12th with what's still left on the board, I would have taken Tristan.
All right. So then 13th, what do you got? I have Marcus.
All right, let me see. Yeah, 13th, I picked Marcus Morris as well, going to the
Oh,
Phoenix Suns.
wow.
Yeah, so uh this one is like it's tricky, man. Like I would want to say like, oh, we're gonna draft for like team needs. If but sometimes you really can't. Like if I was drafting for team needs here, I probably would have taken like Bismack Biyombo just because Phoenix the year before they were 29th out of 30 teams opponents points per game. They gave up 105.9 points per game. That's a lot of points to give up in 2011. Like that's teams aren't even shooting threes like that back then, and you're giving up 106 points. So obviously you're like, okay, let's try to get some more defense in here. Like, furthermore, Phoenix was putting up 105 points per game. They were fourth out of 30 teams. So they're like polar opposites. Like they're insanely good on offense and then equally as trash on defense. So you're thinking, let's fix this. Let's take Bismack and improve in the center position. But Bismack's career just wasn't as good. So that's why I couldn't just be like, all right, I'm gonna take Bismack. So I took Marcus Morris, and he's had a longer career. Stretch for uh I think it was last year or 2 years ago on the Knicks. He was putting up like 19 points a game. I know the Knicks were horrible, but at least he was doing it. You know what I mean? Some guys can't even do it on bad teams. Like some guys just can't put up that 19 points. But he
Yeah.
was. Uh Phoenix's power forward rotation the year before was pretty much Channing Frye and Hakeem Warwick. So, like, they need an upgrade on that one. And I just like Markieff Morris isn't like a great defender, I think, but one thing that this guy does bring is like he's just like a fucking tough guy. Like, he's always getting in people's faces. He wants all the smoke. And yeah, like that's worth something to me. Like just intimidate people pretty much. Intimidate people and try to knock down some threes. So yeah, Marcus Morris.
Okay. So what's
Uh
so am I in the number 14
wait,
now?
just real quick, Markieff Morris career averages 12.2 points, 4.6 rebounds a game. Not the best, but he is a career 37.9% three-point shooter. So yeah. Moving on, man. That's all we're gonna give because now we're getting towards like it's at this point it's really like role players type shit. So they don't get like the love of like Kawhis and stuff. So 14th, man, we got the Houston Rockets. Who you got?
What number is this? 14?
Yeah, this is 14. This is the last pick in the lottery.
So this is I have a problem with these two picks, right? Or like this last pick, because I wish I could pick two players. Just
I'm
because
all
one
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Give
so
me the breakdown on both.
okay.
Because
So
I have a feeling with where you're going with this is kind of where I might have gone with it. That's what it sounds like.
yeah, so there's an issue with some of these players that got drafted. They didn't even play in the NBA the first few years that they got drafted.
I'm in the same boat
So
as you. I already know where you're going. I already know it.
so Bo Bojan Bogdanovic
To
and
Houston 14th.
Davis Bertans. Both of these guys got drafted, but they didn't play in the NBA immediately. So when you look at these stats, you're like, oh man, they barely did anything. But it's because they got drafted in 2011, but didn't come into the league like 4, 5, 6 years later. So
I just want to interject real quick and say that I think it's beautiful that me and you literally had the same player as our last pick. Because when you get to these like 14s, it's like, yo, you're scrambling. Like you could just pick like you could probably be like, oh, here's five guys. Who do I pick? And we agreed,
yeah,
yo. Like I had Boyan the same, bro, 14th to
yeah.
hit
So
to Houston.
Davis Bertans, his nickname is the Latvian Laser. So it's kind of tough to not pick him over Bojan because Bojan is just bogey.
Oh, so you picked Davis over Boyan Bogdanovic?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough.
I picked Boyan Bogdanovic, bro.
I do pick Boyan. I do pick Boyan just because his points per game, they look nice.
Fun fact about Boyan Bogdanovic. He was drafted by I forget what team. I think it was like I think it was Miami, and then he got like traded to Minnesota, or it might have been Minnesota to Miami. But then that second team that got him traded him to the Nets. And the fun thing is when Boyan Bogdanovic was traded, and on his Wikipedia, I think it says it, it literally says he was traded to the New Jersey Nets because this was 2011 or yeah,
Ah,
2011. They were still
uh,
the New Jersey Nets. When he came to the NBA, like we saw him playing for Brooklyn already because he didn't come into the league until 2014. So
yeah,
which is much like your case. This is why he slid. Like it took the dude 3 years to come to the NBA. And like I'm not if he would have came probably immediately and been as productive as he has been, like let's say he like 14 15 a game and he came right after this draft, there's no way he would have slid to 14. But like I'm not gonna take someone ninth or eighth overall that's gonna freaking have me waiting for 3 years.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. That was my biggest reason why. But yeah, it's cool, man. Like he it says it. He got traded to the New Jersey Nets, but when he finally came to the league, they were already Brooklyn. So yeah. But yeah, man. Give me the case, man. You taking Boyan? What's up, man? What'd you like?
Uh, Boyan had a season where he scored 20 points a game, and of course he hits threes at a nice percentage,
Yeah, really
respectable.
good. No, no, not
I don't know.
respectable. It's really good, man.
I don't know if you remember this, but I was watching the Utah Jazz in the most recent playoff, like last year's playoff. The I guess what was that 2020 2021,
Yeah.
and he hit 6 for 6 threes to start a game. Like dude did not miss. So the problem was after that, you feel bad for the Jazz. The Jazz were so good, but I don't know. They just kind of like fell apart. The Clippers kept coming back. Like they went up by like 15 or something, and then the Clippers came back and they beat them. And that was just like a constant thing in this recent playoff where like teams would go by like 20 and then lose the lead. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like Boyan hit 6 for 6 in that first quarter. They were up by like 10. And somehow they lost that game. And but still, man, Boyan was on fire. Him and Jordan Clarkson, that game, it was amazing.
Yeah. So uh the Rockets the year before, they were really good on offense, man. They basically put up 106 points a game. Third out of 30 teams, which is like that's good. They were pretty bad on defense. They were 22nd of 30. And you know, like I said, you oh man, just take Bismack. He's like the last like semi-respectable defender in this draft. Improve your defense. But I feel like I couldn't let this draft and this video go and not have Boyan in the lottery. Like I just refuse to not pick him in the lottery because this dude's been really good these last couple years, man. And like
Can I share the screen real quick?
yeah, good. If I'm Houston, like whatever, dude. Like I'm picking 14th anyway. Like I'm not. This is not like a super lottery pick. Like I'll take him, stash him, hold on to him for 3 years, and then just keep trying to improve on my team. Hold on, how do I do this? All right, multiple participants, and yeah, I mean, we said that he was a good 3-point shooter, man. 39.3% 3-point shooter for his career. So like I feel like anytime you get into like that 40%, like that's what the Splash Bros are in, So that's good company right there.
Yeah, look at this. There was let me see if I could share this. Do you see this number here?
Yeah, what was that 46%?
Yeah, 46% in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
That's insane. Look at his field goal percentage. 47.
Yeah, he played well, man. They just I don't know, man. They just collapsed, but like those numbers are good. Was that 18 a game very
Yeah,
efficiently? That's great, man.
ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, that
Look, this
he's
game
good,
over
man.
here. Clippers win. Clippers win. I think it was this one. Look at this.
Yeah, 32 points.
32 points from Bojan, and they lost.
Terrence
You look
Mann
at
game.
what?
Terrence Mann game. Was that the Terrence Mann game?
No, no, no. This one he
13?
scored 13.
Oh, I don't
Paul
know.
George went ham. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Paul George, 37 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists. Insane.
yeah, man. Boyan 14. I didn't love any other players left, so I'd much rather just do a draft and stash on Boyan than take like Kenneth Fareed or Bismack or even Markeith. Like, no disrespect to Markeith. I know he's solid, but I don't know, man. Markeith is like you don't really hear about him a lot lately. Like Marcus Morris, you still see him. He's on these good teams. Markeith, I don't know if the dude's been injury prone or what, or he's just not getting the burn, but I just feel like I hear about Marcus Morris a lot more. So yeah, you got to take Boyan, man, for sure. 14.
Yeah, for sure. I think this was it, dude. Look, 32-point game. Eesh. 25 came in the first half. Dude started on fire. 6 for 6 from three. Yeah, man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. But yo, so I don't know, man. I really like this video. 2011, like I even told you off camera, I was like, yo, I'm excited to do the video because this was a good one, man. Like there was a lot of good players and there was a lot to like unpack with each player, like even the Ennis Canners, like who was picked 11. Like there was still a lot of good stuff to say about him. So, and that's usually not the case with a lot of drafts. Like even like 03, 96, sometimes like you get to some of the later guys and you're kind of just like, like they seem like they're really good drafts, but they're like super like top heavy. And then after that, you're just like, okay, this guy, this guy just did this. Okay, cool. Let's move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I know, like in 03, I ended up taking like Kendrick Perkins at one point, and I'm just like, Big Perk. He was on those '08 Celtics.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Let's move on. He averaged 6 points a game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I picked Nick Collison.
yeah, like Luke Ridnour, man. Like, he had 1 year that he put up like 13 points. That was like the highlight of his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, 2011, man, this one was great. And I also felt like this one flowed pretty smoothly, man. Like we were making pretty good adjustments like when our players got taken off the board. So this was a good one, man, for sure, man. Shout out Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to the whole state of New Jersey. And yeah, man. I guess that's it, man.
All right. See you on the next episode. 5230 podcast.
Anyone watching this, if you have a suggestion for the next redraft year, just let us know in the comments. All right. Peace.